Hello, and welcome to another episode of
Tube Talk.
Tube Talk with
Your host.
Albert Bosma.
No, I'm not the host. You're the host.
With your host, Sophie Bosma, and the interviewee, Albert Bosma.
That's me.
Or Albertus Johannes Antonius Bosma.
That's me.
Both are me.
Last week of the season, of the racing season, Sophie.
It is indeed.
It finishes on the 31st. The last meeting is on Sunday, this Sunday.
There you go. We better crack into it.
We should.
Okay, so we'll start off with talking about a couple horses from last week, a few of them. We'll start off with North and South, who ran 5th in the listed Opunake Cup.
Yes, a very brave run. Got a long way back. Sam Wynn rode her for the first time and probably learnt a lot. She probably took off too soon. Like, she's a horse you just leave alone, and she came wide and covered a lot of ground, but finished off strongly for 5th. And I think if she'd just sat back there and waited, she could have come through the middle of them and would have been a lot closer. But a good run. She's a horse going well and heading in the right direction.
Awesome. And we also had Black Pearl, who debuted and came 4th.
Yeah, a horse that's been a bit mad. She was initially meant to be Friday and they transferred the meeting to Monday. And she throws her head around, she does a lot wrong, she's very green. So Monday we went in going to restrain her and have a run on, and we knew it would probably cost her the opportunity to win, and it did. But she ran 4th and she fought the ride of the first couple of 100 metres, was still green but still finished it off. Didn't really like the very wet track, but will have learned a lot from it, and as a horse with a big upside. We'll go forward to her next start, will run well again. We anticipate probably won't win again, but as she steps up in distance and gets experience, she's really is a horse to earmark.
Awesome. And we had Thread the Needle, who ran an improving 2nd.
Yeah, a horse that every time she steps on the racetrack gets better and better and better. We felt she'd run in the first 3 and she did. She ran 2nd, didn't completely like the track, but fought hard, is tough, and is going in the right direction and can win her next start.
And we had Alward.
Yes.
Who ran an unlucky 4th.
Yeah, so he's our import who ran and set Sandown on Wednesday. It was a real front runner's bias. If you went on the speed, you couldn't win, and he had a bad draw and we're trying to teach him to settle. So he had to go back, and he was back last and had to come to the outside, had a huge amount of ground to make up, and closed off very well, made up a stack of ground but couldn't quite get to them. It was probably the run of the day from the back of the field to run 4th. Very good run. And he's a horse that next start with a good barrier draw can win.
Mm-hmm. Now, on to this week. We've got 6 runners. Let's crack into it.
Yes.
But before we do, quick announcement that the Timaru races, which were going to be on Friday, have been moved to Sunday.
That's right. So we had 5 horses, and we've had a lot of problems in South Island lately because meetings kept getting cancelled, rescheduled. Oamaru was cancelled, rescheduled for this week. It didn't run. Timaru's been cancelled for Friday, but it's hopefully running Sunday. So a lot of issues, a lot of horses continue to be nominated, and we just wait and see where they can get a run. So we've got 5 in on Timaru, so let's have a chat about those.
The weather is not excellent.
No, it really is the deepest, darkest part of winter in New Zealand at the moment. Very wet.
Okay, so we'll start off with race 1. We've got 2 runners, and we will start with Frazzle.
So Frazzle has come down from Stephen Marsh's stable to Andrew Carstens. He really likes her. She's eaten everything. She'll end up having a midfield draw in a field of 12 as a horse we want to ride midfield, and can certainly win this race. The one question mark is how heavy the track will be, and if it's really a real bog, that may be her biggest issue. If she handles the track, is an excellent chance of winning.
Awesome.
Samantha Wynn ride, so very good jockey.
We also have She's Graceful running.
She's Graceful, Kylie Williams back on board. She's Graceful's last chance to do something. She has shown us glimpses of ability, but she needs to do something on Sunday or she'll be retired. She has a midfield draw. Again, very happy with her work. Her last start we expected to go well and she didn't, but she came out with a stone bruise, so had a genuine excuse. Again, the only question mark is just how heavy the track is and how she will handle that. That's the question mark. But if she does handle it, she'll have every chance of running well and extending her racing career.
And we have race 2. And we've got 2 runners in this as well. It is a rating at 75-1200. And we will start with Pinzano.
So Pinzano is another one on her last chance. She's been a good horse, but she's been running fairly lately. However, she's got a little bit of a stone bruise, so I would say she is unlikely to run. If she does run, she's in the same boat as the other 2 in terms of track conditions. Samantha Wynn's on board, which is great, and again we're just going to find her feet. But she's an unlikely starter. It's more likely to be safe for the 12th of August at Riccarton in a rating 75-1200 with 25,000.
There we go. And we also have Elusive Boxes,
who's also now become unlikely to start. Kylie Williams on board, who gets on very well with her. She's in excellent form. She's barrier 2, may come into barrier 1 if Pinzano's scratch, because Pinzano's got barrier 1, but she's not really a heavy track horse. She doesn't mind cutting the track, but probably not this heavy. We'll leave her in until Sunday morning and make a final call then in case the field falls away. If she does start and she handles the track, she can win, but my concern is the track, and she is likely to go for a 2 to 3 week spell and come back in the spring.
Mm-hmm. And we also have got Elusive Boxes running in this race.
Yes, we do. We just discussed her. So
sorry, off my game.
She can't be in 2 places at the same time. One horse.
My bad. We need to jump quite a bit of time to race 9 where we've got Zanotti.
Zanotti, who I think is a good chance. She's comes into a midfield draw, 2,100 metres. Her form is improving all the time. Her last run was very good. Kylie Williams on board. Should get a nice trip midfield. Has raced well at Timaru before. Will be over the odds and is certainly worth a few dollars each way. She's peaking.
Awesome. And finally, at Singapore, in
Singapore, our last runner for the weekend.
Race 7, we've got Holy Grail.
So Holy Grail won 2 starts ago. He's running on the poly track over 1,700 metres. That's the distance and track he won on 2 starts ago. Last start he ran in a rating 67, 1,800 on the poly. And his run was okay. Look, he ran 8th, but he wasn't beaten all that far. He was jumping up basically 2 grades, and the tempo just tripped him up a bit. He wasn't used to the tempo, so he's in class 4, which is kind of a drop back. It's certainly not as difficult a race as his last race. So the tempo won't be quite as fast, and he will get used to that tempo. But because he's just new to it, this is a good option for him. He's only got 52.5 kilograms. He's got barrier 5, and I'd like to try and ride him midfield rather than go back on him. And I believe we will see an improved performance. I'm not saying he's going to win, because it's a step up and he needs to get used to the tempo. I think he'll have no problem in this grade, but I think we'll see a much better performance from him.
Mm-hmm. And now on to the last segment of the show, bet of the week.
We need to turn around. We need to have a good bet for the last weekend of the season. Sorry,
I just need to quickly mention that last week wasn't our best bet.
Yes,
we
paying double
bet
figures.
North and South ran 5th.
Yeah.
Are we going to move on, because we've already kind of discussed it?
Yes.
Cool.
Let's just discuss this week's bet.
Bet of the week this week is Salamanca, running on Saturday at Levin, race 2.
Open 1,200 metres. Salamanca is a good winter horse. He likes a wet track. He's won at Otaki before. He's one of those. He's out of a very good mare called Anchor, who's very, very fast. I think he's a little bit become one of those horses that people look at and think, oh, he's a chance, but he's not my top pick. And because of that, he tends to sort of pay quite good money and drift in the market. And there's a lot of reason for people to ignore him on Saturday. They'll go, he's top weight with 60 kilos. On a heavy track, there's a couple of horses further down with less weight, But it's a small field, only 7 runners. Kate Cowan, who rides very well, is on him. So he's dropping in weight from 60 to 57 kilos. He's a good wet tracker. I think 1,200 metres is probably his best distance. 1,400 could be, but he's very good at 1,200. And I think we'll get over the odds on him. Because it's a small field, I think over the odds will be about $5. And I think he'll be about $3 to place. And I think he's a really, really good each way bet. And I'd love to see him win for our good friends, the Harrises, as well.
There we go. And that is our week this week at Go Racing.
Very good, and that wraps up the season, and we'll be back next week to discuss the new season, which will be upon us.
Very exciting. See you then, Albert.
Thanks, Zach. Bye.
Bye.